Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you.
Welcome to Devon Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with special guest and entertainer, Landon James. Welcome.
Thank you very much. How are you doing today?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing really good. Just excited to talk about everything and talk about shows, talk about my Elvis tribute artist stuff. I'm really excited.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Unlike other shows, you're an Elvis impersonator, which is completely random. Especially with your age group. You're not that, most of the Elvis impersonators that I've seen are 40 and up. You're very much my daughter's age.
17, yeah.
Yeah.
16, 17. Oh my God. Wow, that's probably crazy to your daughter then. Like, oh my God. My mom's interviewing this Elvis tribute artist at 17 years old. It's crazy. But, crazy, because like when I was in public school, now I'm in private school because I travel a lot to do shows. But when I was in public school, I was the only kid, obviously, that liked Elvis. There's one other kid that like slicked his hair back and, was like the total 50s style, But I was always the different kid from other kids because I like different music. I had a different style. But, for the past few years now, I've just been doing shows and it's been making me the most happy in the world.
Well, congratulations on finding your why in life and finding that thing that makes you happy. A lot of people go through life and never find it. So congratulations at 17 of you finding it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So you're doing these shows. You have something coming up, a competition, as I heard. What's that about?
So it's called the Windy City Elvis Competition. It's actually in just about a week from Sunday. And it's at the Des Plaines Theater in Des Plaines, Illinois. And I think it starts at 1:00. But basically any age for this competition. So kind of how you're saying, like the older ones, like 45 over, younger, any age could be in this competition. So it's pretty nerve-wracking, but I'm pretty sure my family and me and my manager Kevin are going to be happy about the results in this competition.
I am pretty sure that you definitely have the age rank covered, at least.
Yeah, a little bit,
So that's always fun, though. So why Elvis?
So when I was about 9 years old, I watched a sitcom, Full House. Actually, Bob Saget, who used to be in Full House, actually unfortunately died a couple weeks ago. But he was, so basically John Stamos in it was Jesse, and he was a big Elvis fan in the show. So when I watched that show, then I was like, wow, I actually enjoy this like music or this like persona of Elvis. So then I look in Elvis videos. I didn't exactly know who he was yet. So I looked into it and I listened to songs like Love Me, Hound Dog, all the 50s stuff. And I just loved it, but then since I was like a little kid, I'm still a kid kind of, but I would listen to these songs, and just love them. Sometimes I'll get like the $20 Walmart jumpsuit and wear it and sing some songs to my mom and dad. But then for the past 2 years, ever since the start of COVID, so around like March of 2020, I started doing this professionally, doing shows, doing competitions, doing all that. So I think what really started though was watching Full House. And funny enough, on another note, my parents are metalheads. They love Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Bret Michaels, all those. So it's funny, when I was in Elvis at first, it was a little weird, but now we always sing the songs every day. They love them. Like songs always get stuck in their head. Like I Just Can't Believe in Suspicious Minds, all like the usual suspects of Elvis songs.
Oh, I completely agree. My grandmother, I grew up on Elvis until she passed away. You go to her house, it was a shrine to Elvis. So I totally get the whole Elvis thing. But, that was her go-to thing when she was still with us. She had her room was Elvis. She had this stairway going upstairs with Elvis. Everything was Elvis. So I completely understand where you're coming from.
Well, I did have some pictures up. We're actually planning on moving soon out of Illinois. Indiana or Michigan, we're still deciding. But I had pictures up here, and I still have a couple Elvis pictures right in front of me on my desk, just of a couple. And I have some of my rewards I got from past competitions and stuff like that.
That is awesome. I mean, okay.
Thank you.
So you're 17. You have a career path in entertainment, obviously. You sing, you do acting, because anyone that's an impersonator is in acting. Let's cut that. So you have a career path already planned for you. You're already going for it, and you're already getting awards. There's not a lot of teenagers that can say that.
Yeah, it's true, because I still talk to about actually only like one or two kids from my school, because I've been really focused on my career, but I still obviously have friends. You always have to keep friends, in your life. That's what makes you happy. And if you ever need to talk to somebody, you can talk to a friend. But like one of my friends, Andrew, me and him always talk and hang out, and I'll be out of that Elvis mode. I'll just be in like my Landon mode per se, and we'll just have fun, But yeah, I'm very proud of what I've been doing for my age compared to other teenagers, because I have about 12 shows coming up plus a contest in the next week, the Windy City, we're talking about it. And, I bet a lot of teenagers can't say that. So it makes me very happy and proud of myself for being able to do that.
That is a lot of an undertaking for a 17-year-old. That's a whole undertaking for someone that's in their mid-20s to going into the 30s. If you actually think about it as a career, it's a lot.
Oh, it is. From the start of it, setting it up, from being at home before the show, making set list, making sure all the tracks, and like I use backing tracks on my shows. I use a professional company called EP Project, and they're like a backing band, and they will record the live band, and then I could play it from my computer. So it's pretty terrific on how you can do that. And so I have to go to the show, set up with my father and my friend Kevin, sometimes my friend Chris, and then do the show, and then I'm really exhausted after, and sometimes I'll just make my dad and Kevin set up, get everything out of there. I don't do it because I'm so tired after these shows. Like, it's always a joke, but when you're wearing the Elvis jumpsuits, they're really hot, especially in a place that isn't air conditioned or whatever, So sometimes it can be exhausting, but what keeps it alive is the audience. And as long as they're cheering me on or happy, or I make their day by giving them a scarf, teddy bear, they just like the songs I do, that's what really makes me happy.
And that's all that, in the end of the day, is important. It's making yourself happy and making your fans happy. Anything else is secondary. From setting from setting up a couple shows myself, I understand the undertaking, the work, the equipment that's involved, depending on the show. Each show is different and how the venue is set up, what you do. But at the same time, it's exhausting just to be a stagehand.
Yeah, it's so true. There's always the equipment. Like tomorrow I have a show at Clayton's Tap in Morris, Illinois. And now after I have a few interviews. I have another interview later today. So I've been preparing all day. Like we've been doing, my friend or my manager, Kevin's been setting up a lot of podcasts. So we've been doing them a lot, and I enjoy always talking to them. I love talking to you. I love it. And like after this interview, I'm gonna have to get, like you said, like all the equipment ready for the show tomorrow I'm doing, and stuff. And it's a lot to get the equipment, put them in cases so they stay safe, and just also setting them up, turning the knobs, like volume, all the frequencies, etc. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work, I don't think
people don't think of that. An entertainer does that much work. They just go on stage and that's it. Well, No, there's a
Not
whole
true.
background that you're not seeing before you get into the venue. There's a whole
So true.
mic testing. There's a whole equipment testing. There's at least 3 hours worth of equipment setup.
It's so true. It really is. That I always have to get to my shows about 2 hours early before the show time just to make sure, even if I forget something, then I can go home real quick and grab it. Or, but usually I remember everything, hopefully, in my shows. Knock on wood, I don't want to forget anything in my shows. That would not be fun. But, it just does takes a lot of work. You're so right. So true.
Work in entertainment, I know a lot of things. So, but
that goes for both of us, man. It goes for both of us.
Yes, it does. I mean, you're learning very young. I learned later on, but at the same time, it's all comparable. It's a work plan. It's a work ethic that I don't see very often from your age group right now. Unfortunately, I wish I did. You have so much going on in work ethic and motivating younger generations to do what you're doing, because even though Elvis passed away several decades ago, he's still very much a part of our lives in one way or another.
He is. Yeah, I had to think about it. I think it was 45 years ago. It was in 1977 when he died. So I think over 45 plus years, he still has a legacy with me. And, a lot of my fans are fans that never really even saw an Elvis tribute before. Like, there's a lot of fans in the Elvis tribute world, if you say, but, getting these new fans, good for me because I know they'll want to come to more of my shows and they're big fans of me, but at the same time, they get to hear Elvis's music and hopefully it carries on to their kids, to their kids, to their kids, for generations to come.
Exactly. It's keeping the legacy alive. And that's what a tribute band, regardless of what the tribute is, that's the message behind the band, is keeping the music alive.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And one day I'm actually talking to a tribute, well, not a tribute band, but I'm talking to a band right now, and we rehearse sometimes at their like open mics, and I'll just go there and sing a couple songs, and we're going to plan some shows throughout Chicago. And after we get a good following in Chicago, we're going to move to Indiana, a few states out, and then a few states out, and then hopefully one day travel all over the U.S. That's the plan.
That's a good plan. Now, while you're doing all this, are you thinking about your own music career outside of being a tribute?
Well, at my shows, here, sorry, let me get a quick sip. Mm-hmm. But sometimes at my shows, I'll play the guitar. Actually, later, if you want, I could play a song on the guitar. I have it ready just in case. But I play my guitar at my shows and I'll sing in my regular voice. I won't sing as Elvis. I'll sing as Landon, and people actually really enjoy it because I'll go there and I'll end up singing like a total rock, like real hard rock song, like Paranoid by Black Sabbath, or just like more out there music, and people like it. Sometimes I'll do Dave Matthews sometimes, or some country, like Garth Brooks, Brooks and Dunn, stuff like that. But, one day I'm planning to make originals as well and hopefully do that. And also, if the Elvis career doesn't work out, because you never know what's going to happen with any business, So hopefully this all works out for me. But if it doesn't work out, I'm planning to become a guitar instructor because I've been playing guitar since I was 5. That's kind of how I started doing every music thing, and it brings me joy and I love it. And I learned from Tom Peters Guitar School in Lockport for about 11 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I learned all music theory and how to read sheet music, scales and stuff like that, etc. And it applies a lot to my Elvis tribute. So, if the career doesn't work out or still does, I'll still be a guitar instructor on the side or want to teach music and spread, the joy of learning.
There's nothing wrong with having a plan B. And there's nothing saying while you're doing what you're doing, have your instructing as a side hustle on the side.
Yeah, exactly. Because you never know what's happening with businesses, especially right now well, especially 2 years ago when COVID started, not a lot of people could go out. So a lot of these Elvis tributes had to stay in the house. We couldn't do our shows. Like a lot of the guys could do the big productions, so, but now finally stuff is starting to open up again, thank God. And now people are starting to do their shows. But also during the COVID, a lot of people would do Facebook Lives. They would do live streams and try to spread the love of Elvis to people through that way.
Have you looked into, while you're in this music career, doing summers at like Cedar Point? I know you're in Indiana, Chicago area, but that's not a long jump from where you're at.
Is that in Michigan?
It's in Ohio.
Oh, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where like you live or something in Ohio?
That's where I grew up. Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, I could definitely look into doing shows there. Right now, we're mainly doing stuff right now, I guess you would say, in Chicagoland. Hopefully, after we spread out our fan base to Ohio, which I think we will, because there are a lot of fans in Ohio. I know a lot of people in Ohio and Indiana and Missouri and Memphis.
Well, the reason why I bring Cedar Point up specifically is because I know for a fact they're casting and they do tribute bands as one of the cast.
Ooh, I'm definitely going to tell my friend Kevin, as soon as this interview is over, I'm going to call Kevin and say, hey, get shows in Cedar Point. I'm going to tell him.
Yeah, you have to. It's a summer thing. It's only for summer. And I think you have to live on site, but you're doing up to 3 shows a day.
That's perfect, and I would, because my father, my mother, and me love to travel. We have a camper, actually. So when we did Tupelo, when I won in 2021, I was fortunate to win the 2021 Tupelo Elvis Festival Youth Champion. And when we went to Tupelo, Mississippi, we brought a camper. So we could definitely go out there and stay a couple of days and do shows. That's like my goal one day, to have a touring act or performing somewhere where I could perform for a few days, and just do this forever,
I think I was booking one of my other clients there. That's why. But I think they go anywhere from a week to 3 months for the bookings. So that's something just to keep in mind and look into. Kelly's Island, which is also in Sandusky, does the thing. Same thing. So it's something just for your sake to look into.
No, thank you. I appreciate it for the connection. I have to talk to Kevin after and see what we could do about it. We'll look into place. We'll look on online and see if we could get something happening there, because that sounds like a fun thing to do.
From a entertainer's point of view, it's really fun. From a person visiting, it's even more fun, because then you get to be in the 50s style cafe and you hear the music and it's a whole act. So it's fun. It's just a good thing. So it's all there, but just a little thing. But go ahead and please play us something.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna turn on an original sound on here so you can hear the guitar.
Okay.
Let me make sure. There you go. Can you hear that pretty well?
Can hear it perfectly.
Awesome. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. You're always on my mind. You were always on my mind.
Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied, satisfied. Little things should have said and done, I just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a while since I heard the song, so thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. No, that's one I love doing on my guitar, and it's one I do for my mother. She's been battling thyroid cancer lately, and to anyone battling cancer out there, I pray for you. And at my shows, I always do that song for my mom, or Bridge Over Troubled Water. My mom's everything to me, so a lot of it's for her and also my father.
Yes, that's always family first. That's the message.
It's always been that.
Yeah. Always, always, always family first. It doesn't matter what you're doing, family first.
100%, yeah.
So we are almost out of time. So where can our listeners and our viewers find you, connect with you, or book you?
Oh, yeah. So, sorry, for a second, I was like, where? No, Landon. Okay, so Landon James ETA on Facebook, or you can call at 630-780-0983, or you can email landonjameseta@gmail.com. Actually, I could read off the others. I have my business cards in here. Let me check.
You should have
Just
a website.
Oh, yeah, I do. My website's landonjameseta.com. I made, just to reach out to a younger crowd, I made a TikTok at Landon James 1977, Facebook page Landon James ETA, Snapchat Landon James ETA, Instagram Landon James 1977, and I have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna start posting on it a little more now. YouTube Landon James _ETA. Yeah, and then everyone could check me out on there or book me or for whatever they want, shows, the talk, or whatever.
Sounds wonderful. And thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. I'm glad I had the opportunity to talk to you. You're very nice. I love it.
And have a wonderful show, or several shows coming up, and have a terrific career.
All right. Thank you very much. You as well. Have a good rest of your day.
And for our viewers and our listeners, happy listening.
Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. You're always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died.